honestly, I kind of wanted to subpoena the former president because I got to swear everybody in. And so I thought it'd be really cool to get 60 seconds with President Trump.
Send this girl to Romania and put her on Andrew Tate's case. I'm sure he'll be free soon.
My coolest moment was shaking Rudy Giuliani's hand. That was really cool for me.
So do you remember this lady? She's been implicated in something really important, and today we're about to talk about it.
As the district attorney of Fulton County, my number one focus is targeting gangs. It does not matter what your notoriety is, what your fame is. If you come to Fulton County, Georgia, and you commit crimes, and certainly if those crimes are in furtherance of a street gang, that you are going to become a target and a focus of this district attorney's office, and we are going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
For those of you that don't know, that is Fani Willis, the district attorney of Atlanta, Georgia, and Georgia was the home of the controversy with Donald Trump asking the governor to, quote, find the votes. Anyways, they are trying to prosecute President Trump, and it has become a real shit show.
We have gotten a lot of information, and in fact, maybe too much information from the foreperson of the special grand jury, a 30-year-old woman named Emily Kohrs. Where with the jury now dissolved, jurors are able to speak to the press, though they're unable to share many aspects of the case. And Kohrs has been shockingly quick to seize onto that opportunity and the enticing spotlight that it provides, with her going on an absolutely bizarre media tour over the last few days and speaking to multiple outlets. And understand, this whole tour has been absolutely wild for a number of reasons. The first, at the very top, is that Kohrs has been widely criticized for how casually she's been talking about this whole thing, and almost seems like she's having this kind of weird, twisted fun with all of it, with many pointing to this clip of an interview she did with CNN where she's discussing the number of people who have been charged. Or we're talking about massive revelations that literally haven't been publicly discussed until now. And the entire time she's being like weird and giddy and coy, like she knows someone has a crush on you, but she's not gonna tell.
There are indictments recommended, of course. Is it more than 12 people? Is it more than 20 people?
I think if you look at the page numbers of the report, there's about 6 pages in the middle that got cut out. Allow for spacing.
What the hell kind of facial expressions are these? This woman is psycho.
It's not a short list.
Not a short list. Would you characterize it as 20-ish people?
I can't say I counted.
Okay. More than a dozen, though, I think I'd heard you say in another interview.
I believe so. That's probably a good assumption.
Now, on the note of Trump, she did tease out more in an interview with the New York Times where, when asked if jurors had recommended the former president, she responded, "You're not going to be shocked. It's not rocket science." And adding, "It's not going to be some giant plot twist. You probably have a fair idea of what may be in there. I'm trying very hard to say it delicately." What the fuck is wrong with you? There were also a bunch of other absolutely wild moments in other interviews.
All right, before I play this clip, you need to prepare yourself. You need to go get a helmet and some shoulder pads, and while you're at it, put something soft on the ground, because whenever your grandparents hear this and have a heart attack, at least they won't hit their heads on the ground very hard.
Did you personally want to hear from the former president?
I wanted to hear from the former president, but honestly, I kind of wanted to subpoena the former president because I got to swear everybody in. And so I thought it'd be really cool to get 60 seconds with President Trump of me looking at him and being like, "Do you solemnly swear?" And me getting to swear him in. I kind of just thought that would be an awesome moment.
So this lady is a super fan. She just wants Trump there so that she can stare and gaze into his eyes for 60 seconds.
To get 60 seconds with President Trump of me looking at him and being like, "Do you solemnly swear?" And me getting to swear him in. I kind of just thought that would be an awesome moment.
What a complete psycho. Just look in her eyes. Look in her eyes. So sadly, this lady never got to meet Trump. Why did her glorious, selfless, community-centered plan fail?
I can see how trying to get the former president to come talk to us would have been a year in negotiation by itself. I'd be fascinated by what he said, but do you think he would have come in and said anything groundbreaking, or just the same kind of thing we've heard? So at some point, you don't need to hear 50 people say the same thing. You know what I mean? At some point, you kind of start to get the gist.
Oh, we got the gist. We just don't think you got the gist. But anyways, send this girl to Romania and put her on Andrew Tate's case. I'm sure he'll be free soon. She's in the big leagues now. Well, she couldn't meet Trump, so she got the next best thing. Tell us what your coolest moment was, Emily.
My coolest moment was shaking Rudy Giuliani's hand. That was really cool for me. I made a point of stopping them and being like, "Wait, before we go back to this, can I shake your hand? Because this an honor to meet the guy. It was really neat for me.
An honor to meet the guy. You're trying to sue him in one of the world's largest cases that there's ever going to be. You think Rudy Giuliani's happy to see you? Hell no. He can't wait to put you on Hunter Biden's laptop and send you off to the DOJ.
And so with all this, we've seen so many people criticizing her, saying she clearly doesn't take this seriously, with one news anchor painting an absolutely fucking bonkers picture of this woman and how she's handled herself throughout this incredibly important process.
Okay. What we have in these interviews is a window into the thought process of a special grand jury that heard evidence in perhaps the most legally perilous investigation of a former president in American history. A special grand jury led by someone who has never before participated in the most basic part of our democracy, voting.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me Fannie put her in charge of democracy and she's never even voted? This isn't democracy. This is democracy.
Someone who, during proceedings, drew sketches of witnesses like Senator Lindsey Graham and former Trump aide Mark Short.
So she stared at these Republicans so long with stars in her eyes and love in her heart and thinks, I'll just stare them down and draw them. The courtroom sketch artist can do it, so why can't I? I don't need my eyes or my hands to listen.
Who swore in at least one witness, I am not kidding here, holding a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles popsicle stick.
What's wrong with that? Everybody's got to eat. She was too busy drawing her Republican heroes that she will soon hang onto her wall with thumbtacks and rope until they all form a trail to Donald J. Trump, her true hero, in her serial killer shrine. But everyone knows radioactive turtles that was trained by a rat that mastered karate makes the best popsicles. It's not disputable.
But, and this is a key thing, her actions both in and out of the courtroom aren't just notable because they're so damn weird. They very well could have very significant ramifications, with experts saying it is very, very unusual for grand juries to speak to the press, period, much less in the totally flippant way she did.
This is a horrible idea, and I guarantee you that prosecutors are wincing watching her go on this. It's a prosecutor's nightmare. Mark my words, Donald Trump's team is going to make a motion if there's an indictment to dismiss that indictment based on grand jury impropriety.
This mental child's selfish decision to try and milk this for all it's worth could literally jeopardize the whole case. And beyond that, not only could her actions put this case in jeopardy, but they could also hurt future cases. Right? According to ABC News, Coors appears to have stopped short of explicitly violating the special grand jury's charter that prohibits her from sharing any information about their deliberations. But experts agreed that her public remarks could be cited in future litigation, possibly as evidence of bias in a motion to dismiss a case or in a motion to change venues. And beyond all that, her comments also simply undermine public confidence in the judicial process, with the outlet's chief legal analyst explaining she shouldn't be doing this. It isn't helpful to the perception of the objectivity of the criminal justice system, and it starts to feel like she's putting pressure on the district attorney to actually move forward with charges.
All right, guys, so what do you think of Emily Coors? Do you think she's a giddy little schoolgirl for Trump that wants nothing more than Trump to be oiled down and greased up until he belly flops on her frail little body and they squirm into a cocoon of love? Or do you really think she's out here serving justice with a warm, fresh side of stupid? I don't know much, but I do know this. If Fannie was to put her onto the YSL case, they would all be put under the jail forever. She's good. Real good. Dare I say, the top of her class, the best in her field. Anyways, guys, that's the show for tonight. Please like, share, and rage comment down below. And if you didn't know, YouTube just rolled out a new feature to where if you scroll down, you can actually see my legs. Technology is awesome. But if you don't remember one thing from this video, remember this. Don't forget to be good on your way to becoming great, because I know you're going to become great. God bless, I love you, and see you in the next one.
My coolest moment was shaking Rudy Giuliani's hand. That was really cool for me.